Righto, thought I'd give you guys a tour of my fish tank. Ooh, mind that flickering light there, it's just my fireplace. Anyway, so this is a 180 gallon fish tank, the one at the top anyway. So it's a 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, which equates to about 650 litres. The tank below is a 4 foot, which is 55 gallons, and in metric that's 200 litres. The top tank, the 180 gallon, it's a mixed tank. Originally it was supposed to be a Central American biotope, but I've actually mixed some South Americans and also some Asian species as well, just because they help out with the cleanup and whatnot. Filtering this bad boy, I have a eheim Pro 3, which is also known as the 1200 XT or the 1280. So it flows 1700 litres per hour. It has 25 litres volume and about 12 litres of biological media. I've actually kind of souped it up a bit. So what I've done is on the outlet, I've actually put a T there. So I have two outlets, one on this end and also one on that end. So yeah, two inlets and two outlets. In line, I've also plumbed, originally this was a reactor, but what I've done is I've stuffed it with, I believe that's 20, or was it 30? 20 ppi, and then that's 30 ppi, and then these two are like a polishing sort of pad. But yeah, just more surface area for bacteria colonization. So yeah, that's that. And then because this filter is actually, I guess it's considered more of a biological filter and less mechanical, I've actually added in a wave maker or a Gaia flow maker, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's awesome. It absolutely look, it even makes like a little pit there and blows everything around. So yeah, it just helps with all the detritus and stuff like that. So yeah, better filtration and whatnot. So that's the filter there. What else? You got a Kessel light at the top. I don't really run it because the light spooks out the fish. Automatic feeders. The tank below, so I've actually got 3 Parachromis dovii in there, wolf cichlids. 1 male and 2 females. There's a male. Oh, you can't really see him, can you? He's actually, you can see his mouth there and his teeth. He's actually, and there's a female just there, and there's another one hiding behind that saucer there. Can't see her. He's actually, I believe, a one-of-a-kind dovii. So I've had a fair few tank busters. And when I went to the shop, there was a whole tank. It was like a 3-foot tank full of dovii. And there was actually one male in there, and he was like the dominant male. He absolutely hated everyone, attacked everyone. And then there was this male here, and he was in a corner, and there was females hanging around him, and he didn't seem to mind them. He had better coloration as well, not as aggressive. So I chose him and the 2 females next to him. And so far so good. He's actually been really good. Obviously, you know, being a dovii, I'm sure it's going to change. He might snap one day and kill the females, but so far so good. So the plan is eventually, once he or a pair hopefully grows out, I want to then put him in a 5,000 litre aquaponics or aquaculture tub in a greenhouse that I'm eventually going to build. And then obviously in the 180 gallon, once those fish get bigger, the bioload's obviously going to might be a bit too much for that filter there. So what I want to do is I want to plumb up an overflow and then convert that into a sump. So you know, a 200 litre sump, and that'll be more than enough for my stock list in there. So that's the future plans for it anyway. Here's the stock list for this tank. So it's pretty cool. I've kind of gone for like a river type biotope. So lots of driftwood, river gravel, rocks, overhanging branches or floating branches. And then the stock list. So I have 20 Buenos Aires tetras, which are really good because they're quite a big size. They're fairly active as well, which is great. Also, I chose them specifically because of their temperament as well. They're a bit more of an aggressive tetra. A bit of, they nip a bit of fins, but compared with every other fish in there, I think they fit in very well. So, they're doing good. Being good differs as well helps everything else get out and about. We have 20 tiger barbs. So those are actually Malaysian or Asian tiger barbs, but I think they're great because it just adds extra contrast to the differs, and they school a lot tighter compared to all the other schooling fish in there. I've also noticed that they aren't afraid of the light. When I turn that light on, the tiger barbs, the Siamese algae eaters, and also the geophagus Steindachneri, they're not afraid of the light, which is interesting. I don't know if that's just from the locality where they're from or whatnot, but all the other fish just duck and hide for cover, which is I think pretty interesting. We have 8 bleheri rainbowfish. They're obviously from Australia. All females, no males in there. So I don't mind. Just adds a bit more texture and contrast as well. They're pretty scattered, but they seem to hang out with the tetras a fair bit. We have 2 macaw cichlids. So they're actually Hysophrys nicaraguensis. So this is our male here, and there's the female who's just jumped into the video shot. Let's see if he tries to court her. No, maybe he's given up. So I got these 2 in the fish shop, and the guys there actually vented them. So that's a certified male there, and that's a certified female. So far she hasn't been reciprocative of his efforts, but hopefully they pair up. That would be great, because we have 2 neat cichlids. Or I actually have 3 to tell you the truth, but eventually there's only going to be a 2. And man, are they absolute hell-raising terrors. They just about fin nip everything. They've got such sassy, spunky personality. They just attack everything. There's no remorse. Like, anything near them, they will fin nip. They can't help it. It's just the way they are. And it's hilarious watching them just bully other fish bigger than them. Any fish, no one is safe around them. As soon as they're around, it's just mayhem. Look at it. It just goes for everything and anything. Just can't help it. And it's funny because it's great because the Hysophrys nicaraguensis and the last 2 are the red hump cichlids. So geophagus Steindachneri. The red humps and the macaws have actually learned to not ever turn their backs on the neets, because the neets, given the chance, will go them. So it's really great to watch just the dynamics and stuff. At first I was like thinking, oh my god, what have I done? Because once these neets pair up, it's just going to be like absolute mayhem in this tank. But I think it gives it great dynamics, a bit of aggression as well. And all the other fish that I've selected are, I'd say, quite a hardy species. They're all within roughly the same pH range and water content. The only ones I'd say is the geophagus, which obviously like your softer waters. But man, these guys are so hardy. Like, I've seen people put them in African tanks and all sorts. So I think the main thing is just getting stable water perimeters. Mine is not too bad. I mean, I've got quite hard water up here in the hills, which is Glen Forest. It sits at about 8.4 out the tap. And then with all that driftwood, it generally bumps it down to about 8.1 to 7.9-ish. Might be a bit lower, see how we go. No CO2 injection, so there's no plants in there. Heaps of blackbeard algae grows on the driftwood, which every single fish in here just absolutely love. Um, Originally, I was only going to get 4 Siamese algae eaters, but then I was thinking, man, I've got so much blackbeard algae, I'll get 8 of them instead. And man, it's crazy because I don't think I needed to do that because all the fish like just absolutely love picking at the algae. I mean the neets are actually I guess you could say they're herbivores. They're basically herbivores picking on scraping algae off rocks and all sorts. And the macaw cichlids, they've actually only got like a small mouth opening, so their diet only consists of 1% evasive prey. Like majority of their food is I guess like algae and whatnot. I've added, here's trouble. I've added mulberry leaves as well. Oh, there we go. I've added mulberry leaves, and yeah, the water's obviously softened them up, and the fish love that as well. All the fish, they all graze at it and pick at it, which is great. But yeah, it's been a really great fish tank. A lot of fish tanks I've had have just been tank busters. We're talking Mesoheros festi, Amphilophus labiatus, and just real aggressive fish. And I would only ever house a pair in a big tank. I mean, this tank I actually had a red terror, and I had him for about 4 years, and he grew to quite a decent size. I mean, as cool as it is having a wet pet and all, and having like an interactive fish, it's a bit of a waste or a shame. Sort of depends how you look at it, but yeah, all that tank space just to one fish really. So to have a community setup is really cool, and especially one that works as well. In terms of getting the parameters right for everybody in that stocking list, and yeah, it's really fulfilling. The tank's still new. When I got rid of the festae, I had to start from scratch. So I started literally from scratch. I mean, would have been great if I kept the old substrate in there, because it would have had so much mature nitrifying bacteria. But yeah, it started from scratch. So the tank's still fairly new, but yeah, as time goes on, obviously, you build up that bacteria colony for the bioload in there, and yeah, all should be good. Oh yeah, also there's a wave maker in this tank as well, and what I've done is I've set them to timers, so they're on different sets of timers. Like that tank above the 180, the wave maker in there kicks in more often, just for the added extra flow for the oxygen exchange, being more bioload and fish in there. And then this wave maker it switches on and off as well, but it's mainly on during the day, and then at night it only kicks on for like a little bit here and there just to keep the oxygen levels up. But yeah, I've basically tried every trick in the book to max out biological filtration. So as time goes on and those fish grow, we'll see if this filter there can handle it or not. I mean, obviously there's always going to be natural attrition as well, so some fish will perish and whatnot, but yeah, such is life. But yeah, that's my tank. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.